This video is how to create the illusion of a cast shadow on your tabletop underneath your piece of fruit. If we keep this in mind, that a tabletop is a flat surface and we want to create the illusion of a flat surface, then that'll kind of help us moving forward, right? Your tabletop, everybody's tabletop is flat. And so if we create a cast shadow that appears to be flat, then it's going to help us make our tabletop look like it's flat. Okay. Before I begin, I want to really make sure that you understand one point. And that is, there are many, many ways to make a tabletop. I encourage you to create a cast shadow in whatever technique you'd like. I've already had a student create a different type of cast shadow that is a completely different style. And this student's going to be on a field trip today. And really, her marks are so small, it does create the illusion of shadow on a tabletop. She did a good job with it. Okay. If you understand that to create a flat surface, you can make lines that are parallel with the top of the page like this. Lines with the top and that are parallel with your top and the bottom of the page give the illusion of flatness. Okay? That gives the illusion of flatness. Lines that are vertical do not give the illusion of a flat tabletop. So, please do not, even in your experimentation, create vertical lines for a shadow for a tabletop. It won't make your tabletop look flat. That being said, other experimentation that you can partake would be line that's horizontal, like some type of line design. Oops. Doesn't have to be, you know, that's almost like sitting on water, but you can do some creative stuff with it. You can also use stippling. The concern is with stippling, if your fruit is stippled and you aren't sure to make your value different from your fruit to your tabletop, then it could blend in. Okay, so overall, this is what I'm going to be demonstrating today. The lines that are parallel to the top and the bottom of the page. Okay, so here we go. Here is my complete drawing of my apple. It looks like it's floating on the page. Giving an idea of a cast shadow will really help this look like it's grounded and on the surface of the table. Next thing that I'm going to do is put down the pen and draw what I see in front of me in pencil. I have a highlight right here. And my cast shadow looks like that. Okay. Your cast shadow might be a lot of different directions. You might have two cast shadows. This might be your fruit. Oops. And you might have a cast shadow going this way, or this way, or this way, or this way, all different directions. You might have two cast shadows. You're only required to create one cast shadow. However, if you have two, sometimes it's really impressive if you create three different steps for value. This being the darkest, so this might be step 7, this might be a 6, this might be a 5. Okay. But really, you're required to only do one. So you could always practice this in your sketchbook. I could give you advice on it. and then you can move forward, and this is what we're doing today. It literally takes 5 minutes to create a successful cast shadow underneath your piece of fruit, which is great. We don't want to create a huge oil spill underneath our fruit or a big dark area. Why? Because we would probably take away from all of the subtleties that we've spent hours creating in our fruit, okay? So, keeping in mind that my lines should be parallel to the top and the bottom of the page, I also have to remember that I can't compete. I have to have a different value on my tabletop as I do on my fruit, okay? This is a step 6 and 5, so I'm going to do step 7 for my tabletop. I'm going to be really careful to make sure that my lines that I create are parallel with the top and the bottom of my page. Nice thing about this technique is I can always go back and add more lines. What I'd like you to do, and you can work while I'm working, is I would really like you to practice this in your sketchbook and then apply it on your fruit, underneath your fruit today. So this is called hatching. It's not called cross-hatching because there's no actual cross. The reason I wouldn't employ cross-hatching is because I would most likely have some vertical marks. I do not want to do that. Please notice I'm fading off the value. So I'm really dark right underneath the fruit. And then I'm creating like a lighter step outside of that. I also don't want to have any major white gaps. In between the fruit and the tabletop shadow. Some students mistakenly leave a white outline, and that would be done. That would be considered complete. Okay? Let me demonstrate one more. Here's my stipple apple, and I apologize about the crease. And let's just pretend, now I have a highlight here and here and here, so this wouldn't normally be the direction of cast shadow for this piece of fruit, but since this is just a demonstration for a cast shadow, I'm going to show what could be a possibility. I'm going to draw it in pencil first. Okay, let's pretend my cast shadow looks like this. Okay, what do my lines look like? Are they vertical? No. They're still going to be horizontal, parallel with the top and bottom of my page. So, super dark underneath. How many lines exactly do you have to have? You don't have to have that many. I mean, I don't have to shade all the way to the bottom of this. You know, I have a student that already did because he just wanted to experiment on his own in his sketchbook and it looks beautiful, but he doesn't have to do that. Once I've completed my cast shadow, I'm going to complete the hand-in procedures. So, as a review from last time, what I'd like you to do, I know period 1's a little different because we worked really large last time for the last project. But what I'd like you to do is take one of the rubrics, which I'm going to hand out to you in a second. Self-assess. This forces you to kind of like review what we've been talking about for this project. Okay? And erase all of your pencil. So I want you to erase all of your pencil. Okay? If you forget to erase your pencil, you will not lose points. But I don't like to touch your artwork in this way. I will, before I assess your artwork, erase your pencil on your artwork. Because I want to see if you were able to create the illusion with pen and ink. We know you can do it with pencil, but can you do it with pen and ink? Make sure your project is dry. Fill out your rubric with name, class period, paperclip it together, and throw it in a turn-in bin. And that's it. Thank you for watching.